Life isn't supposed to be comfortable. Growth doesn't happen in the warm and easy places. It happens when you're neck deep in struggle, pain, and doubt. The suck is where most people quit. It's where excuses are born. But the suck is also where warriors are made. You've got two choices: run from the suck or embrace it. When you run, you stay weak. When you embrace it, you become unstoppable. Every setback, every failure, every grind, that's the forge. That's where you sharpen your mind, harden your spirit, and prove to yourself that you are more than average. Pain isn't the enemy. Comfort is. The suck is a gift, because when you lean into it, when you accept it, when you own it, you stop being a victim and start becoming a weapon. So the next time life feels unbearable, smile. That's your signal. That's the universe telling you, here's the opportunity to grow. Don't waste it. Embrace the suck. Most people spend their lives running from discomfort like it's the plague. They want the shortcuts, the quick fixes, the easy road. But the truth is, nothing real ever comes from ease. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's the doorway to becoming more than what you are right now. Every time you choose the hard thing over the easy thing, you're laying down bricks on the road to strength. Every time you lean into the pain instead of pulling away, you're building something inside yourself that can't be broken. Think about it. The body only grows when it's pushed past what it's used to. You don't build muscle by lifting what's comfortable. You tear the fibers, you break yourself down, and only then do you rebuild stronger. The same principle applies to your mind, your spirit, your entire life. Discomfort is the resistance that forces adaptation. Without it, there's no growth, no progress, no evolution. The problem is, we're wired for comfort. Our brains want to protect us, to keep us safe, to hold us back from risk, from pain, from anything that feels like suffering. That instinct might keep you alive, but it will never make you great. Greatness lives on the other side of that resistance. Every time you feel discomfort rising, that's the signal. That's life giving you the chance to step forward and level up. The suck, the struggle, the moments where you want to quit, that's where growth hides. The average person sees those moments and pulls away. They say, this is too much. This isn't for me. And that's why they stay average. But if you lean in, if you train yourself to see discomfort not as punishment, but as opportunity, everything changes. Suddenly, the pain is no longer something to fear. It's a tool. Discomfort strips away excuses. It exposes who you really are when there's nowhere to hide. It shows you your limits. And then it dares you to push past them. And every time you do, you create a new version of yourself. You look back and realize that the person who thought they couldn't handle it was weaker, smaller, softer. Now, you're someone else, someone harder, someone sharper, someone who knows that growth only lives in the fire. It's easy to coast through life chasing comfort. The soft couch, the warm blanket, the easy routine. But comfort has never built a warrior. Comfort never built resilience. Comfort never prepared anyone for the storms that will inevitably come. When the storm hits, and it will, the ones who ran from discomfort crumble. The ones who embraced it, they stand tall. They've trained for this. Discomfort is practice. It's the repetition that hardens your willpower like steel. Every cold morning you drag yourself out of bed when your body begs you to sleep. Every workout you push through when your lungs burn. Every challenge you face head. When it feels impossible, those moments are deposits. You're putting strength in the bank. And when life cashes the check and throws chaos at you, you've already paid the price. You're ready. So stop looking at discomfort like an obstacle and start seeing it for what it really is, the path. The path to discipline. The path to grit. The path to growth. The only path that will take you from who you are now to who you were meant to become. When things get hard, when the weight feels unbearable, most people fold. That's the moment the line is drawn. On one side, you've got the weak. The ones who tap out, who justify quitting with excuses, who look for someone else to blame. On the other side, you've got the relentless. The ones who keep moving forward no matter how ugly, painful, or brutal the situation gets. The suck is the filter. It's the crucible that sorts pretenders from the real deal. Anybody can look tough when life is easy. Anybody can talk a big game when they're comfortable, when everything's going their way. But the second the storm hits, the second life gets heavy, that mask comes off. The weak crumble, but the relentless dig in. They understand that the suck isn't meant to stop them, it's meant to test them. And tests aren't about comfort, they're about truth. The suck doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your background, your talent, your past victories. It doesn't care how many times you told yourself you'd show up. The suck only cares about what you do right now, in the moment, when everything inside you screams to stop. That's the battlefield. That's where the weak retreat. But the relentless find another gear. The weak see the suck as punishment. They say, "Why me? Why is this so hard? I can't do this." That's the victim mindset. The relentless don't ask why. They ask, how do I get through this? How do I keep going? They flip the script. The suck isn't punishment. It's opportunity. Opportunity to prove to themselves and to the world that nothing can break them. Relentless people that suffer in this currency. Every moment they stay in the fight, they're buying resilience, they're buying grit, they're buying strength that most people will never have. Weak people don't see the value, so they quit early and stay broke. Broken discipline, broken willpower, broken spirit. But the relentless, they pay in pain, and they get paid back in power when the suck drags on. When it's not minutes or hours, but days, weeks, months of grind. That's when the separation really happens. The weak will say it's impossible, that no one can withstand it. The relentless will say, watch me. They don't just endure the suck, they adapt to it. They start to thrive in it. They become so familiar with the suffering that it becomes their home. And when the battlefield shifts, when life hands out more chaos, they're already trained. The weak look for the exit, the shortcut, the way out. The relentless look for the next step, the next rep, the next breath. They don't need to see the whole road. They just need to know they're still moving forward. That mindset alone is what turns ordinary people into unbreakable ones. The suck doesn't scare them. It fuels them. Every drop of pain is proof they're on the right track. The suck doesn't just separate the weak from the relentless. It exposes you've always been. Because deep down, everyone knows the truth about themselves when they're under pressure. The weak might bury it, but they can't outrun it. The relentless face it, embrace it, and then transcend it. That's the real separation one group hides, the other evolves. Pain is the great teacher. It's the one thing in life that doesn't lie, doesn't sugarcoat, doesn't hand you trophies for showing up. Pain tells you the truth about who you are, what you can handle, and how badly you really want it. People spend their whole lives running from pain, trying to avoid it at all costs, and in doing so they rob themselves of the only thing that can make them unbreakable. Resilience isn't built on comfort. It's forged in fire. It's shaped in the grind, the setbacks, the losses, and the moments that rip your soul apart. Every scar you carry is proof that you walked through pain and didn't back down. Without those scars, without those battles, you're fragile. You might look strong on the surface, but the first real hit will drop you. Pain is the weight room for your spirit. You can't grow without lifting it. Pain forces you to adapt. It strips you down to nothing and demands that you rebuild. It doesn't give you a choice. Either you learn to push past it, or you stay broken. That's why pain is a gift. It exposes the weakness inside you, not to shame you, but to show you exactly where the work needs to be done. If you never feel pain, you never know where your limits are. And if you never know your limits, you'll never know how far you can push them. The truth is, pain is the currency of greatness. Every champion, every warrior, every person who's ever done something extraordinary has paid their dues in pain. Sleepless nights, broken bodies, doubt that ate at their soul. Pain was there every step of the way, and instead of avoiding it, they leaned into it. They understood that pain wasn't a stop sign. It was a green light. Most people tap out the moment pain shows up. They think it's a signal to quit. But for the relentless, pain is the signal to keep going. It's the moment they know they're in the right place. Because when it hurts, when it burns, when it feels impossible, that's when the real growth is happening. That's when resilience is being hammered into their bones. Pain is also the great equalizer. It doesn't care where you come from, what you look like, or how much talent you have. It will test you the same way it tests everyone else. The difference isn't in the pain. The difference is in the response. Do you run from it? Or do you face it head on and let it shape you into something harder, sharper, stronger? The more pain you endure, the more resilient you become. That's the trade-off. Every hit you take and survive builds armor around your mind. And eventually, you get to a place where pain doesn't scare you anymore. You stop fearing it because you know it's temporary. You know it's part of the process. You know it's the price of becoming something more. Pain is the forge, and resilience is the steel that comes out of it. If you want to be unbreakable, you can't avoid the fire. You have to step into it again and again until the heat that once burned you becomes the same heat that strengthens you. Comfort looks harmless. It feels good. It whispers to you, telling you to stay right where you are. Safe, warm, satisfied. But comfort is a trap. It's the slow poison that robs you of progress, ambition, and greatness. The dangerous thing about comfort is that it doesn't destroy you overnight. It destroys you quietly, piece by piece, while you're too relaxed to even notice. The truth is, comfort doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care about the person you could become. Comfort only cares about keeping you exactly where you are. It wants you soft. It wants you weak. It wants you to settle for good enough. And if you let it, comfort will turn your life into a cage with pillows and blankets, but still a cage. Comfort is seductive because it offers relief. It gives you the easy choice every single time. Sleeping instead of training. Take shortcuts instead of grinding. Avoid risk instead of stepping up. And the more you choose comfort, the weaker you become. The problem isn't that you rest. The problem is that rest becomes your default. The edge you once had dulls. The fire inside you flickers. Before you know it, you're average. The relentless understand this. They know that comfort is the enemy of growth. That's why they reject it. They purposely put themselves in uncomfortable situations, not because they enjoy suffering, but because they know it's the only way to stay sharp. They train their minds and bodies to crave discomfort because they've learned the truth. The second you get comfortable, you stop evolving. Comfort kills urgency. It tricks you into thinking you have time, that you can always start tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year. And soon you're staring at a life filled with regret. That's what comfort does. It steals your time without you even realizing it. The relentless fight back by making today matter. They don't wait for the right moment. They create it. The weak spend their days chasing comfort, thinking that happiness comes from avoiding struggle. But happiness isn't found in comfort. It's found in progress. And progress only comes when you push past what feels good. That's why the relentless don't run from the grind. They embrace it because they know every uncomfortable step forward is a step away from the prison of comfort. Comfort also lies to you. It tells you that you're fine the way you are, that you don't need to push harder, that you've already done enough. But deep down, you know that's a lie. You know you're capable of more. And every time you settle into comfort, you betray that part of yourself. The relentless refuse to live with that betrayal. That's why they get up, why they push, why they suffer. Because they'd rather feel pain than live with the regret of never knowing what they could have been. Comfort is not your friend. It's the silent killer of dreams, the invisible enemy that keeps you small. If you want to become someone who's truly relentless, you can't just avoid comfort. You have to go to war with it every single day. Adversity is life's way of asking you a question. How bad do you really want it? Most people run the moment things get hard. They look for the easy way out, the shortcut, the excuse that justifies quitting. But if you run from adversity, you're running from the very thing that could shape you into the person you were meant to be. Adversity isn't there to crush you. It's there to carve you into something sharper, harder, and stronger. When adversity shows up, it doesn't knock politely. It kicks the door down. It comes with chaos, with pain, with moments where you doubt everything. That's when the weak retreat. They try to escape, hoping life will give them a smoother path. But the relentless don't retreat. They step forward into the storm. They lean into the adversity because they understand that the only way out is through. Adversity is a training ground. Every challenge is a weight added to your bar, forcing you to get stronger or collapse. And if you choose to face it, if you choose to take the hits and keep moving, you grow in ways you never thought possible. You start to realize that adversity isn't the enemy. It's the process without it. There is no toughness, no discipline, no resilience. Most people live their lives trying to avoid adversity, thinking they'll be happier if everything is easy. But comfort breeds weakness, and weakness leaves you unprepared. When adversity eventually arrives, and it always does, they break. The relentless are different. They seek out challenges. They put themselves in difficult situations on purpose because they know adversity is the fastest path to growth. Leaning into adversity also changes the way you see yourself. When you walk through fire and come out standing, you gain confidence that no one can take away. You no longer need to talk about being strong. You know you're strong because you've proven it to yourself. That's the kind of confidence that carries you through every future battle, no matter how brutal it gets. Adversity also exposes who's real, who's pretending. When everything is falling apart, when the pressure is unbearable, you can't fake it. Either you break or you rise. And every time you choose to rise, you separate yourself from the masses. You show yourself that you're not ordinary. You're built different. That knowledge, that self-belief, is priceless. Leaning into adversity is a choice. You can either run from it and stay small, or you can face it and evolve. It's not about whether the storm comes. It's about what you do when it hits. Do you cower, or do you dig in and march forward? The relentless know the answer. They step into the fire because they understand that adversity isn't punishment. It's the opportunity of a lifetime disguised as pain. Adversity is the ultimate test, and the suck is the ultimate teacher. If you want to be relentless, if you want to live a life that actually means something, you have to stop running from hardship. You have to stop looking for easy. Easy has nothing to offer you. Everything you want, everything you dream about, everything you're capable of becoming, it's all hidden behind the adversity you're afraid to face. So the next time life knocks you down, don't curse it. Don't run from it. Smile. Stand up. Lean forward. Because that's the moment that separates the weak from the relentless. That's the moment that forges resilience, destroys comfort, and proves once and for all that you are unbreakable. Embrace the suck. Lean into adversity and become the weapon you were always meant to be.